Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal, Divine Messenger. So welcome in everyone. I feel to say that I'm also a spiritual teacher. Okay. That's why I say all of my readings are timeless. Okay, because all of them have teachings, right? As I call in all of my guides, okay, and my spiritual teachers to channel these messages and these teachings, and that's why each of my readings are encoded and encrypted with certain keys, activations, and teachings, right? And sometimes my guides, right, will come through and channel the entire time that I have available, where I don't get too much into the tarot. Now, what I feel to say is that for some of you that are just here for like the tarot cards and the readings directly from the cards that I channel and directly from the oracle that I use, I'm going to start labeling those readings more like where I have tarot or oracle, or we're just going to say tarot, right? Because I feel that we're talking more about the tarot than the oracle anyway. Because the ones that are fine with the oracle channeled messages that I give, then it's more just channeled messages in the tarot. I feel that there's a lot of people that are very drawn to the tarot, right? Like they need to see the cards, they need to feel that they're seeing the reading, that they're getting the energy. And, it's a very beautiful thing because that's what awakens, a lot of you to realizing, the arts and all of that. Why I feel to say all of this is because I've been seeing, some comments and stuff coming through where some are upset that it takes a little bit of time before I get into the tarot reading, right? So that's why I feel to say that. And, sometimes I even start to feel guilty because I feel the aggravation as time is non-linear, right? So even though like I'm recording this now and some of you aren't going to see this content until later, I'm still feeling the energy as if you're watching it at the exact time that I'm recording it, if that makes sense. Right? So I feel the frustration, and sometimes that like when I'll be giving like the channel messages, sometimes I'll feel like, okay, get into the cards, get into the, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel that explain that a little bit, that not all of the readings, like when it's like whenever I call in my guides and spiritual, like whatever they want me to give that day, whatever teaching, whatever channel message, and sometimes I pull cards, other times I don't. So for some of you that are just drawn to me, like you want to read the tarot, you want the energy that day, then I'm gonna label them just tarot. And like I was even sitting here like going back and forth, like I feel this energy is so different right now that I'm like, do I even want to call in the vibration of the energy of that day? I was literally sitting here like, should I talk about how I'll say, remember a lot of my readings I would always say we're in the energy of 1-4, you know what I mean, or 1-3, like today being the 13th of August, I would be, well, we're in the energy of 1-3, which is, because I'd break it apart and I'd always say, well, we're really in the energy of a 4 today for the day, but then we're in the month of 8. So I was really like, well, should I just put the vibration like all together within the day, the month, the year? But it all has to do with how we relate to the numerology, because then I was looking a lot at the 8-8 alignment, and a lot of people, it's so beautiful. I see so many, everybody was on board talking about Lionsgate, which is so beautiful. And I don't feel that there was enough teachings and explanation that I was putting out there to teach a lot of you and my students, right, about the 8-8, because I'm sorry, I had a lot going on. But I love seeing all the seeds that were encoded and planted. Is so beautiful, because 8-8 is the most powerful time. We are really aligning with our spiritual sun at that time. But a lot of people, I think, are just, they get so caught up in the 8-8, right? And it's not even really that it's about the vibration of that number, which is really the alignment. It's just because it happens to be happening around the 8th. Okay, and it does fluctuate, right? That's why I say that the portal is open from July 27th through August 12th, 13th, 14th, right? Okay, because it has to do with the planetary alignment and what's going on. We have 2 cosmic events that are very, very powerful. We have the alignment with Orion's belt that aligns with the 3 biggest pyramids, Okay, and as the stars of the Orion's belt align with the pyramids, which are energy vortexes, right? And it's like when they align, the energy that is sent through the pyramids, right? They are downloads that are coming in right to Earth, right? And it's elevating, it's energizing Earth, it's filling it with so many codes, and we are all feeling it. Okay, so that happens, and aligning with our star system Sirius as well. So we've got those two, which is our spiritual sun. Okay, and that's where we get the downloads, and we get just so much. So we have those two major cosmic alignments that are going on at the same time, and that's why it's like on the 8th when the Orion's belt aligns with the pyramid. That's why we have that apex moment, the you know what I mean? The floodgates are like open for energetic spiritual downloads to occur. Okay, so that's why it is so powerful, and everybody's gonna feel it. I mean, if you were going out getting energetic codes from the sun, from the moon, you know, you are going to be feeling those the strongest, and things are going to be activated. But a lot of this that's going on is internally as well, right? Absorbing this energetic frequency. Okay, so I feel that I was looking up a little bit because I was hearing a lot about vortexes and vortices, which is interesting because I was looking at like the floods too, and a lot of what is going on. I feel like they're trying to do some things here, right? Because vortexes came up in fluid dynamic for me. A vortex is a region in the fluid in which the flow revolves around an axis line, which may be straight or curved. Vortices, distorted fluid may be observed in smoke rings as well. It is talking a lot about a vortex refers to a flow phenomenon characterized by spiritual motion of fluid around a central axis. This can occur in liquids or gases and commonly observed in natural phenomena such as tornadoes, whirlpools, and smoke rings. I don't know why this was catching my eye, but I was thinking about the floods. Literally last night I was walking along and I heard a whole bunch of water running through the drainage system, and we didn't have any rain or anything like that. So when I was walking by it, I was like, what are they doing? What are they flushing, or are they draining? Are they trying to There's a lot that's going on. Now water is very, very cleansing, right? It's the most powerful force, right? I don't know. Sometimes I'm planting seeds for you guys, right? To investigate, to get further downloads. This is just what I started, but then I was feeling this anticipation, like, get started, so I wanted to start recording, right? Why are we bringing up the Orion correlation theory? It has to do with Egyptology, the arrangement of the guys, the pyramid complex, and it has to do with Orion's belt. The stars of Orion were associated with Osiris, the god of rebirth, afterlife, and the ancient Egyptians. See, and this is why, too, I was getting reverence. I was getting reverence, which is the deep respect for someone or something. Okay, and hold on. There's a lot of stuff coming through. I was also getting something at, what was it? Resurgence. That's what I was getting. The rising again into life, activity, or prominence. The restoration of youth, acceptance, activity, or vigor. The instance of something resurging, a renewal, a vigor, a vitality, a new increase of activity or interest in particular subjects of an idea that has been forgotten. See, I was getting these that were coming through. And if you guys know, if you're a true channelers, like, I love the new ones. The ones that are new to channeling, because the energy comes through so fast. You have to slow it down. You have to find a way to articulate and put it together. That's why it is like an art. It is beauty. And I love seeing the ones that are so excited and so filled with energy and excitement that they come through with all the channel message, and they make you could feel like they make no sense as they're coming out. And some may not even understand what you're saying. You may even play back some of your content. Okay, and it's like, you're like, what was I even saying? Like, I love that, because it's always so exciting, like, seeing the new energy. You know how exciting it is when, like, you see somebody doing something for the first time as they're learning to do it? You know, like a lot of times I don't feel a lot of people give enough credit for when they are starting something. But it is so beautiful to see the whole journey and the whole process. And I love seeing how people evolve and people learn how to play with that energy, right? And you know what? You need to think about it too, is sometimes stuff does come encrypted, okay? It does come across certain ways for not everybody to be able to distinguish the messages, right? And it's kind of like puzzles and how you find things out. And sometimes when things come in different levels, it leads you to discovery and finding things in different ways as well. So to my new channelers out there, like, it is so beautiful. And that is really, to me, it's kind of like a calling card. It's how I know if someone's a true channeler or not, by when I'm watching some of their content. Are they sporadic? Are they kind of scattered with how the energy is coming through? Because then I know they're channeling, right? Instead of just like, no, you're not just like taking somebody's content that you watched, that you tweaked, you added your stuff in. And you know what? That's a way in itself too. And we have certain coders that are meant to do that. So no shade is given to anybody that is sharing information, using others to do further investigation and evaluation, because we do have certain ones, and if anything, those are the ones that are very envious. And you know, envy is not always like a bad word too. We give it such a bad rap. Well, the people, I guess, if you're envious but you're using it to like where you're instilling jealousy, okay, or like a resentment, or why is that person able to channel energy so fluidly? And it all has to do with your connections, right? And this is where it's going to bring me into the offerings, okay? Like okay, so I've been getting a couple things, right, where some people have been thinking that you don't need to do ritualistic things to ask for protection and guidance. And see, this is where I'm getting excited. My guides are really wanting me to come across this too, because we have definitely reached a higher barrier, more of a golden timeline that I know that I'm on, where I'm starting to see the inner workings of things, and I'm starting to realize that like the dark energy is very beautiful too, and it's about finding that balance of both, right? So I don't want to completely clear out all of the dark energy, because the dark energy is very beautiful when it's in balance, right? And I know that I work with both realms, so to always be clearing my dark energy away, I was clearing a lot of my protection as well. So I can get, that's why for some, like, to completely clear or asking for all of the dark energy to be transferred to light and pushing all of it away, you could be pushing away some of your protection, right? Now with the Palo Santos and incense and things like that, it's like an offering, and it's something like whenever I'm calling in my spiritual guides, right, and my teachers, like it's like when I'm lighting my incense, when I'm clearing the space, I'm bringing in balance, I'm bringing in peaceful environment, tranquility. It's kind of like a calling card. Like for some, like I remember somebody getting shade in one video where somebody was lighting incense outside. People in the comments were like, well, you're outside, why are you doing that? What, you know what I mean? Like they don't realize that, like that's what I use. Like my guides know when like I light incense, even when I light a lighter basically, and I work with the element of fire, they know that I'm calling them in, and lighting candles and whatever you may do. But that's what I mean, is when you're more connected with your spiritual team, who are you protecting your energy with? Who are you channeling? Who are you calling upon? Some of the channelers don't realize that. You've got to call, do you understand what being a channel is, right? You're basically being a vessel for spirit, okay? So you have to find a way to calm your balance down, to be able to open up, to be able to be that vessel, to be able to let spirit come through you. I remember when I first started channeling too, I used to think I was crazy. I can't even tell you how much content that I would delete, because sometimes I would be talking in different voices. I would be, oh my gosh, that was a new guide that came in, because I was talking in a completely different different voice, like that wasn't me. So a lot of it was like frightening me. I'm like, oh my gosh, people are like gonna watch this and think like, oh my gosh, look at her talking in different voices and things like that. That's what I mean. Like the experience is so fun when you start to realize all of those little things, right? And, you know, like, and I was hearing too where somebody was like, you never want to get rid of your ego, because your ego is your identification of self. And it is very beautiful. When you're having your ego is where you're analyzing basically how you are, how the perceptions of other people perceive how you perceive other people perceive you, right? Like, what is the reflection that people see of you? But then you need to realize people don't even really see the reflection of you the way that you see you, because they're seeing a reflection of themselves in you. So really, the way that you do perceive yourself is not how others perceive you. So when you start to realize, like, there's no point in even understanding how other people perceive me, because they are not going to perceive me in the way that I do. And I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, well, then you're not to the level of understanding yet. And that's fine, because I'm always planting seeds, right? It may make sense to you later. So you don't even realize, like, sometimes those moments will happen where I'll be like, oh, that's what they were talking about. And I know that I do that. Sometimes it's like when something unlocks for me and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? Because sometimes you're just not ready to receive things. But I wouldn't have those aha moments and those moments of realization if the seed wasn't planted, right? So even though things may not make sense to you, seeds can get planted. And I do a lot of that, right? As I'm an awakener too. And a lot of you guys, you know, we're always exchanging codes within each other, right? And coming into an alignment, whether you're coming into alignment with this reading or just other people that come into alignment within the physical and things like that too, they're planting seeds, they're upgrading your energetic coding, right? And sometimes it's not always at that moment. Sometimes it takes a little bit, right? All right, so I only have a few more minutes available. This one, they wanted it to be short, I guess. That's why I only had 20 minutes available. So see, like, I'm not even getting into the cards in this one. So I'm going to be doing another one, and I'll label that one a tarot reading. So for those of you that are just guided to the teachings strictly from me pulling cards and things like that, then those readings will be labeled tarot in the title. And if they're not, then they're just a spiritual teaching, right? Okay. So yeah, anyway, now let me talk about Lionsgate a little bit more, right? Because I know this is the first reading I've got to do because I had to take a break. It was my son's birthday and all of that. We've had a lot going on, but I've been integrating a lot of the energies, right? So, like I said, this energetic gateway that we went through, it definitely elevated Earth to higher frequencies and levels, whether we all realize it or not. But I was feeling that there needs to be a change with ritualistic things. Like, even when I was doing my invocation, I didn't feel that I needed to call in and I needed to send back to center all the spell work, evil eye, black magic. Like, it was literally like gone. Like, I didn't even feel like I needed to do that. Right? There's something about that. Like, a lot of the darkness, a lot of the things are being cleansed out, dissipated. Like, the stuff's not even hitting. Like, a lot of people are being entrapped in their own. It's just like the energy's reversing back to sender just as it is. Like, we don't have to be sending a lot of those projections back. And you need to be careful because for some of you, like, you're sending stuff you don't need to be. You're especially like being careful about the energy you're transmuting, because it is beautiful to have that healthy balance of light and dark. Now, to still burn incense and ask for all the negative, okay, energy, all of the chaotic energy, let that transmute and flow. But maybe it's just not sending away all the dark, right? There's beauty in the darkness, and that's something I've been realizing, especially me being on graveyard shift, is I really appreciate my nights off. And I love to just turn off all of the lights and be sitting in the dark. Like, I've missed it, right? And how calming and peaceful and beautiful that it is in the darkness, right? And how much easier you can meditate and things can flow, right? In the quiet, in the stillness, right? So there's something about that, starting to embrace more of the darkness, the light. Like, the darkness, like, you wouldn't have the light without the dark, and it's about having that balance, right? That beautiful balance. So there's something about that. Let me see, I've got like a minute left, right? I was getting something about modalities. Maybe like your modalities is changing, is the way mode in which something exists or is done. So I was hearing strongly modalities, reverence, resurgence. And then they wanted me to talk about vortices and vortexes. And then Orion's belt, I was getting to talk about. Maybe you want to look more into Orion's belt and the alignments with Gaia, right? And that annually, whatever that's around the time this happens with Lionsgate and with the star system Sirius, our spiritual sun, because those alignments, those cosmic alignments, is why Lionsgate is so powerful. So I have to leave this here. Definitely check out more of my content. Bye, guys.